So in this video, I'm going to rank every level that has been considered top 1 in the history of Geometry Dash. The only exception would be Element 111 RG because we haven't really seen the whole level, and I'm mostly basing all of this judgment off of decoration and things like structuring. Structuring is actually pretty important for the early levels because that's like the only thing you can really do with block design is find a creative way to structure it, since all there really was back in like 1.0 and like 1.3-ish era, it was like, you know, your Stereo Madness and like Clutterfunk blocks. Like there wasn't really much you could do. Also, because of the wide range of eras or just time periods in this game, I will be breaking the video up into 4 sections. So there will be a pre-1.9 section of the video where I rank all of those demons, a 1.9 section, a 2.0 section, and a 2.1 section. Also, thank you for the support recently. The last video completely blew up and I'm very grateful. It's crazy to think that over 2,000 people watched a video that I recorded at like 10 PM on a school night. But with that out of the way, please subscribe or something, and yeah, let's get on with the video. So first up, there are 11 demons that were once considered top 1s. Well, some of them are unrated now, but whatever. There are 11 levels that we can talk about here. And the worst out of these 11 is BP Knight, because it literally looks like a recent tab level. Like, all of the blocks are just completely random, and any attempt at creative decoration is like portal circles. Like those things from a Lightning Road that just look like a jumble of garbage. There's also no structuring to even speak of. Most of the ball sections in this level are just like platforms. So yeah, bad level. Moving on, Stereo Demoness is number 10 here. I mean, do I really have to explain myself here? Like, half the level is just really bad structuring. Like, okay, the early attempts at art in this level aren't that bad for the time, but like half the structures look like recent tab vomit, so yeah. So next up at 7, 8, and 9 are the Hell Zone, the Hell World, and the Hell Origin. Really, any of these could be just like tied. They're just all tied with each other. I could really put all of them just like in different order, but they're pretty much similar levels. There isn't much hell theming in these levels other than maybe like a little bit of a red background, but that's pretty much it. Like, it's just your average level, and of course that background will change to random colors like every other 1.2 level or whatever. I don't know, was this 1.0? Probably something like that. Okay, at number 6 we have Heaven and Hell, which seems sort of stupid when you first think about it, but if you look and you pay attention to the level, it actually does kind of have theming, if you can tell. I mean, the level's still pretty bad, because it loses structuring in like the second half of the level, because I guess the creator just got kind of lazy, and it just flashbangs you. Like, that's never good. Why do levels just like flashbang you? That's just dumb. But yeah, the background and the ground sort of change depending on what like theme supposedly the part of the level is. So, for example, the red and black parts, or like the red and black backgrounds, would be Hell theme, and then the blue and gold parts, Heavenly theme, I guess? I don't see it as much, but whatever. Next up is Silent Club. It has a nice creepy atmosphere at the beginning, but it's ruined by garbage parts. Basically, if you've ever seen a level, you probably know the UFO part that's just like that purple color, where there is no structuring and it's just blinding purple for some reason. Yeah, it's not very good. So while the beginning is pretty decent, there are parts that just suck. Next up is To the Grave at number 4. This level is okay, I guess. It's pretty meh, like it's your average 1.0 style level. That's literally all I can say about it. There's nothing wrong with it, and there's nothing that's necessarily great with it either. Next up is Extreme Park, which is just barely better than To the Grave. The maze-like structuring and gameplay of the level is pretty decent. And while it is kind of boring, it's like consistently decent in terms of things like structuring and just gameplay. I don't know, I'm running out of things to say here. These are all really boring levels. Next up is Demon Park, which was an original concept for the time because it was the first demon. It was the level that actually inspired the demon difficulty. And it's not like the deco is really that bad. Like, you know, the spike inside block was super basic, but it was a good structuring idea for the time. So at number 1, after I say this, we can finally be done with stupid 1.8 levels. We have ICDX, which has decent theming compared to the other levels in this section of the video, and it's club set theme, so it's probably easier to create, so there's like nowhere you can really go wrong with this. Okay, well that's out of the way, now we can actually get to the levels people care about. So for 1.9, I have 5 levels listed here. I'm pretty sure there were only 5 top 1s during 1.9, but if I missed one, too bad, because I don't want to rewrite. At number 5, we have Future Demoness, because it's forgettable, and I can't remember half the level. I literally watched a recording of it like 2 minutes ago for this recording, and I can't remember half the level right now, but what I do remember is that the ending was dragged out. Some of the deco looks pretty decent, but that's about it. At number 4, I have listed Sonic Wave. So while this level is pretty much just a reskin of 9 Circles, but wow, it's blue, oh boy. Some of the block parts do actually look pretty decent, and at least it's really hard for its time. Like, it was made way back in 1.9, and it was still top 1 during 2.1. Next up at number 3 is Sakupen Hell. Now, it has a cool effect sort of thing going on with the fire. I appreciate the slanted demon head, that's pretty iconic, and it's pretty cool. It has some good structuring ideas, but it also just has copy and paste gameplay if you look closely. In this wave part that I'm hopefully showing on screen right now, it's literally copy and paste. At number 2, we have Cataclysm, which had crazy good effects for 1.9, but because of those crazy effects, and there were only 4 color channels, probably because there were only 4 color channels, it has to regroup in between effects, which looks pretty bad. Like, if you've seen the level, there are some really crazy parts, like the first wave, but then they kind of have to just, like, the level just sort of has to regroup and not use any effects for the next part in order to use more effects for the part after that part in the level, if that makes sense. So the quality ends up being kind of inconsistent. And at number 1, it's Bloodbath. Now, objectively, it uses effects more wisely and spread out than Cataclysm, even though they're a little less groundbreaking for 1.9. But every frame of this level is pretty much iconic. Like, this is one of the most iconic levels in Geometry Dash. And that's for good reason. Like, it broke the difficulty barrier for the time, and it actually looked pretty good, unlike levels like ICDX or like Demon Park. Each part has its own good decoration ideas, and some of it actually still looks good to this day. I mean, all of it does, but some of it would probably be something you would see in modern-day 1.9-ish levels like Tartarus or Acheron. So now on to the 2.0 levels. This is where things get messy. Quite literally, because at number 4, we have Phobos. I'm counting this as a 2.0 demon because there are 2.0 parts in it. So with Phobos, theming does not exist. In the first, 10 seconds of the level, we go from, a red-ish, hell-ish theme to, just white for some reason. Oh, by the way, did I forget to mention that it turned green in between those 2 parts? Also, we all know what that one 2.0 part is, and it sucks. I bet 8-year-old me could probably build something better than that part. So next up, at number 3, is Athanatos. It's pretty much an average hell level, but it does have some decent ideas, just overall kind of boring, but not too bad. At number 2, we have Yatagarasu. While some parts of this level are kind of over-decorated, overall it's pretty good for 2.0. I like most of the parts in this level, and it also has a little bit of nostalgic value to me because this was one of the first top 1 demons I really saw verified. So yeah, I'm biased. Wow. Didn't see that coming. And at number 1, for 2.0, is Artificial Ascent, mostly because almost all of its competition is very bad. It does look really good for 2.0 though, and most parts have their own good unique design and ideas. The song is also pretty good too. And finally, the 2.1 demons. So the worst one of these is Erebus. Again, kind of something I don't think anyone really didn't expect. I mean, it's themed around toxic waste or some sort of chemical factory, and it literally looks like toxic waste. The only good part is the end screen because this eyesore of a level is finally over. The whole level is just blinding green through the whole time, except for one part that still looks bad, but is better by comparison because it has more black in it, so you don't see as much of the blinding green. Because I do actually value myself and my eyeballs, I have not seen this level with RTX on, but I bet if I did, it looks just terrible. Like, even worse somehow. At number 10, for this section, is Crimson Planet. It's your average hell level, but some parts look subpar. Okay, next level. This level's boring. Next up is Stalemate Redux. It has a nice atmosphere for the first few parts, but it's kind of ruined once you get to, that orange part. I don't know who built that, but whatever. And it never builds up that creepy feeling again, and the deco is just kind of generic. Alright, here's the controversial part. I don't like Sakupen circles. I'm placing it 8 out of 11 here because I honestly do not like this level. Okay, some of the deco is decent. Okay. But it's not anything top 1 worthy. It seems like something that's a work in progress. And those decent parts are mostly carried by the particle effects. The other parts, like the bell part, just suck. To give this level credit, it is literally a remake of a 9 Circles level, and that's always really difficult to do. without making it look like garbage, but I mean, hey, Kullet can do it, so. At number 7, we have Slaughterhouse. Now, the first half of this level is just garbage. It just looks bland, there's just a bunch of black space, and I've looked like at the level in the editor, and it's not optimized whatsoever. But once you get to River's part, it really steps its game up. But even the second half isn't anything to write home about. The art of, like, the ram thingy or whatever that is, I mean, I don't know, it looks cool, I guess, but that's probably the best part of the level. The only thing that's really outstanding about this level is that the reaction to verifying it by Space UK was just him coughing. So next up at number 6 here, we have Zodiac. Some parts are pretty good, but other parts are garbage. Pretty much like half the levels on this list. There is no theme for this level, like unless it's generic glow. Unless generic glow was the theme for the level, there is no theme of the level. I mean, at least it has a Creo song, for Creo fans, I guess. And it's one of the more accessible top ones recently because of its long level length, so you can play a few parts without dying twice a second. But it's just kind of there. Like, it's an okay level. At number 5, the Golden. Actually, everywhere I go, I see this level, but that's a story for another video. First off, it's not golden, but I can excuse that because apparently it's jungle themed. It's like the theme of running through a jungle to find a golden city or something. But the jungle theme is rarely seen in the level. There's a few sunrays and a few vines, and that's about it. Actually, anything is rarely seen in the level because half the screen at any given time except for the last part is just pitch black. Whatever, it's okay. Next up is Plasma Pulse Finale. The song plays into the theming, and the good decoration in the level is, I mean, it's good. It has good theming, like it shows the whole like electric theme. Pretty much like just better than a lot of other electric theme levels in my opinion. There's not too much to say about this level, but I think this level and the Golden are like the first levels I can really get behind. At number 3, I have Tartarus. I like how it gives you the best of both worlds, those being 1.9 top 1 classics and modern day standards, but some parts fall short and just seem sort of bland. At number 2, Digital Descent. It has some really good designs in some parts, but some parts aged horribly because it's an early 2.1 level, kind of like Manix's part. This was also one of those levels that was like known as something way harder than it actually was, because now it's like not even 100, like top 100 on the list, while Plasma Pulse Finales is still in the top 75 or top 50, somewhere around there. And finally, the best level, or top 1, for 2.1 is Bloodlust. Most of the parts are just barely below the over-decoration line, and it completes Bloodbath's legacy. It broke the difficulty barrier again for the time that it was created, and like the deco isn't even that bad, and it is pretty consistent, but not to a fault like those annoying 1.0 levels or something like Void Wave. And while it's not perfect, I think this is probably my favorite top 1 ever. Not objectively, just my subjective opinion. I think other levels mentioned previously, like Artificial Ascent or Tartarus, or maybe even the Golden if I was a little kinder to it, got sort of higher up there, but really that's about it. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm going to try to make more content, but school's kind of eating up like all my time, so I'm not going to be able to post more than like weekly, at least that's my guarantee. So yeah, that's about it. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please hit the like button or something YouTube analytics about subscriber charts. I don't know, it doesn't matter, just subscribe.